So this year my art was split up into different sketchbooks, and for the first time in a while I actually made a lot of art outside of my sketchbook, so I haven't really seen it all in one place. So I actually have no idea like how much my art has changed within a year, and also how much I actually made during 2021. I figured I'd make an art tour so we can together look through all the art I made in 2021 chronologically. Throughout 2020 and in the very beginning of 2021, I was using this sketchbook. There's already 2 tours of it up on my channel, so I'm just gonna show you the art in it that I actually made this year. That's why I'm covering up the right-hand page. It's not because I don't like it, it's just because it was made in December. But the one on the left was my first drawing I made in 2021, and it's a self-portrait. And there's a whole video up explaining the thinking and process of this piece. Obviously, I kind of used the sketchbook out of order, and I also took a lot of breaks between making art. So the next spread I finished was done on January 10th, right after I got my first ever gouache paints. It's my Artex Jelly gouache you see me use all the time. And it's so cool to me to see my first try at using them versus where I am now at the end of the year, which we'll see soon. And then the last page in the sketchbook done in 2021 was the first page, which, like I said, I did my sketchbook out of order. And I'm glad that when I open the first page of it, it's on a page I love. In the end of January, after I finished my sketchbook, I was on a walk when I found this random journal on the ground, and I actually used it to paint 2 jelly gouache self-portraits of myself just to practice a bit. After that, I was a little bit delayed with, art block and stuff on starting my next sketchbook, but finally I bound this one here in February, and there's a whole video on that process. So all of the art in this sketchbook was made in 2021. And actually, a lot of these spreads were painted in videos, so if there's any pieces you're interested in seeing the making of, check through my channel for those. But anyways, flipping through the sketchbook now, I realized I actually didn't make much art in it this year. At least not as much as I thought I would, or as much as I thought I did. Because I kind of create art in spurts. Like I'll draw every day and then not touch it for 3 months. But I'm trying to get better with it because I always enjoy using it. It's just, Anyways, flipping through it, I realized I definitely need to make more art in 2022. Like when it's in front of me like this, I realize how slowly I've been working. But regardless, I really like most of the art in this sketchbook. So I thought I'd just put out there that this technically is all the art I made from January 1st to December 27th, not all the art I made in 2021, because, I could just make a lot of art in the last few days of the year. Something I noticed that was really different from 2020 to 2021 is how much I actually worked outside my sketchbook. I feel like in 2020, all of my art was in my sketchbooks, when this year, especially towards the end of the year, I did so much more work on bigger pieces of paper or just like outside my sketchbook in general, because I think I started to feel like my sketchbook was restraining me more than just like holding my art. I've gotten past that now, but it definitely meant I didn't make as much art as I planned to in my sketchbook during this year. I think one of the reasons I didn't make big art pieces for so long was because I felt like when something was bigger and it was like out of my sketchbook, it was inherently more serious and had to be better, which is so silly. And like in the past few months, I've realized there's actually something so liberating about working big. Like you don't have to squish in ideas, and your paint strokes can be loose. And just because you're working big doesn't mean it can't just be fun, or that it has to be some grand, complicated idea. The only difference between working in a sketchbook and working on a big sheet of paper outside your sketchbook is that it's not stuck in a book and you can put it on display on your wall, which you can see I've done. I don't usually show this stuff, but all the other art I make is in my journal that I use for everything. Like I write down all my thoughts in it. I put any random pamphlets I get, literally anything during the year, like receipts and stuff goes in there. And it usually does get a lot of random doodling and painting in it. And I thought to accurately show how much art I made in 2021, it was important to include all the stuff in here too. I've always drawn a lot in my journals, and I think one reason for that is that it feels safer than my sketchbook sometimes. Like my sketchbook is made to display art. So, even before I showed art online, my sketchbooks have always felt like they need to have nicer pieces in it, and it's like a waste of a page to just doodle and make a mess. While my journal holds everything, just like random thoughts during the year, so why wouldn't it hold those random doodles from during the year? And I'm trying to grow past that mindset every day, but that's definitely why there's so much messy art in all my journals. That's basically it. Honestly, I'm surprised by how little art I actually ended up making this year. Like in my head, I thought I made a lot more, but when you see it like all laid out, like you're actually flipping through what you've done, I feel like you realize like if you're not making art every day, and maybe I wasn't even making art like every week, you don't make that much by the end of the year. But I'm still really happy with what I made. So yeah, I really hope to be making more art next year. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that little flip through, and on to 2022.